There's something about going to see a band that's really good. It's like the music hits your body.
Yeah, it overwhelms you.
Yeah, like a drug.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
The right tune fucks you up. So I agree. Who were like some of your first concerts as a kid in Boston?
First concert I saw was Jay Giles' band.
You did?
Yeah.
That's with Peter Wolf
yeah.
and fucking that's as cool as it gets.
Yeah, back in the Centerfold days.
Aerosmith and Jay Giles, you can battle for the kings of Boston back then.
Jay Giles was the fucking man when I was in high school.
Yeah.
See him. I saw George Thorogood.
There you go.
Johnny Winter. I saw a bunch of bands.
Where'd you see him in?
I don't remember.
Right.
I wish I could remember.
I used to go to Worcester.
Sure, Worcester Coliseum.
Centrum, yeah.
Is that what it was? The Centrum?
I think so. Yeah.
Then I got a job when I was 19. I worked at Great Woods.
You did?
Yeah.
Fucking, I played there. What a feeling that was.
Bills that can't be paid, relationships that suck, jobs that you got fired from. All these different things. Hopes and dreams that are crushed, flat tire, bad transmission. Fuck. Most people are good. Most people. That's why you can go on the highway and everybody, for the most part, is doing what they're supposed to do.
Working together, man.
Yeah, when someone doesn't, it's like, look at this asshole fucking driving like an asshole. But for the most part, the vast majority of people are letting you into the lane. They're all pretty much adhering close to the speed limit.
Well, here are the numbers. 400 formerly chronically homeless men and women living in our community. Average time on the streets is 9 years. At any given time, 15 to 20 are giving us a run for the money. 380 to 85 are just fine.
This is probably the smartest conversation I've been involved in maybe months. Well, it's that time of year. It's spring. People are refreshed.
It's not spring. It's the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
It's freezing cold out. It's just January.
Whatever. You guys aren't open-minded. That's what I think, bro. If you're wearing a wig, I don't think you're running anymore, though. I think some things you got to let go. Like if a plane crashed, I already know I'm planning ahead, dude. I'd eat a Vietnamese guy.
Why?
I did a fast for like 4 days, and then I was at the Best Buy, and I remember this Vietnamese guy was trying to help me out, and I couldn't even hear him. I was so hungry. And I couldn't. And I remember thinking, if everybody turned the other way for a second, I could eat this young fella. You know, Ben. His name was Ben, actually, over there in Westwood. But I'd never thought.
Oh my God, that's so ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think if you gum down a Viet, people aren't going to be that upset at you.
Well, the Vietnamese people are going to be super upset. What are you talking about?
No,
Somebody's dad.
Yeah, they're more understanding of things, dude. I was making a smoothie, you know, and I thought I heard something outside, right? Which is kind of weird to even think of when you have a blender going, right? So I leave out of my apartment to go in the hallway, lock myself out with the blender going. 2:30 in the morning, coked up out of my brain, right? Now I have to go to my landlord, dude, who lives right down the hall.
Oh, no.
And tell him, like, hey, man.
2:30 in the morning? I got locked out. And the blender's on, son. Oh, my God. He must have hated you.
Oh, the blender shorts out and smoke happens. The fire alarm starts going off in the building right as I'm at his door knocking, right?
Oh, my God.
So now he's pissed, and he's like, what's going on? And I didn't know what to say. I told him that I was throwing a late Christmas party, dude. Into January.
How old were you at the time?
Huh? Oh, this is 2.5 years ago. So I was 35. Bro, it's like when you put a condom on and then the other person's just still looking at their phone. You're like, oh, this is weird. Yeah, man. I never wanted to be a fish, man, my whole life. I didn't. Yeah, I wish there was more ways to sleep. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to think anymore, man. But I wonder if people ever wanted to think, you know?
Nothing will ever be funnier. America will come apart in one of the funniest ways. You'll die laughing. Literally, you'll die, but you will be laughing. It will be the most absurd and insane thing. It will be out of a dystopian horror movie, and no, it won't be funnier than America, because we're a crazy country, full of crazy people, and everybody's just trying to suck the last few dollars out of this bloated pig corpse of an empire before the end. And I'm no different. But make no mistake, I mean, if I'm wrong, and I'd love to be wrong, But if your attitude or your idea is that the population's going to get smarter, healthier, and more adept at problem solving, you're on crack.
The worst is if you're jerking off with a hat on, bro. You're going to hell, I think.
Fedora.
Yeah, that's the worst, bro. That's the most French thing you can do.
Jacking off with them straw Kentucky Derby hats.
Yeah, what's the worst hat to jack off?
The worst hat to jack
Probably
off
a top hat, because you have to balance yourself while you're jerking off. Yeah.
One of them chimney sweep hats.
The best would be one of those Chinese hats, bro, because if you squat down low enough to the ground, you can almost hide under it and jerk off, you know? Those things would be dope, bro.
The most confusing would be like one of them Daniel Boone raccoon caps.
Yeah, but that
You
would,
got that tail in your eye. You push you're blowing the tail's in the way.
So I don't like seeing senior citizens take advantage of, right? I felt like that happened a lot when I was a kid. And so I think for me, it reflected on me, like, it made me really angry because I was like, I know this guy's not well. It's not fair to pretend that he's well.
Yeah.
It's not fair to him because he doesn't know you're pretending, you know? And it just seemed like the cruelest thing you could do. And then we're all kind of supposed to believe this thing that we know is not real.
what were your folks like?
My folks, my loving parents, best parents I could ask for.
Pretty decent, pretty tall?
Oh no, they're pretty short. I got handed the short stick of the family. My grandpa was over 6'1", so.
And what happened? He just died?
Wait, he died 6'1", but he didn't pass down anything good. All right, rest in peace, Grandpa. Great guy.
Was he?
Yeah,
He took it all with him, though, it sounds like.
No, he took the good blessings. He left behind a washing machine and a couple other things, but
That's not bad.
Tyson
Yeah, huh?
can't complain.
Is it really?
No, I don't know. It went to my parents.
Oh, damn.
I don't think I got anything. Well, I didn't want anything. It's a weird thing to want.
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird to want something from your grandparents. I don't know. We're talking and thinking so fast, it's hard to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the main thing, right? People always want to use that term, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can't even comprehend the starting block that most of these folks have.
Well, and nobody has, Joe.
Right.
That nobody in history has ever pulled themselves up by their bootstraps.
It's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
I mean, there are things that you should do in your life. You should have discipline. You should have work ethic. You should strive to your goals. You should be a good person, try to keep your body healthy. You should do all those things. But all this pretending that everybody's starting from the same spot and the reason why you're successful and they're not is that you work harder. That's just foolish.
Yeah.
That is ego and nonsense and a complete lack of perspective.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kamala and speaking of the border, we had 2 Border Patrol agents that came on in the past 2 years, right? Because we wanted to learn about it from people that are there on the ground. And one of the things that we found out was a lot of times they keep arresting the same people because the people that are coming in illegally aren't being prosecuted. That's one of the biggest problems they were saying. What can we do differently to make things safe at the border? It's the fact that a father can't sleep at night because he doesn't know who's going through his yard or going through it. It's just not fair. It's not what you sign up for when you're an American. What are you going to do different?
It blew my mind when that happened for the first time. Like I said, with everything going on in my brain, all of it still works. All the signals are still there. Like I think something to try to move and the signal gets sent. So when I'm attempting to move my hand and the cursor's moving and it's moving basically where I want it to, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It didn't really shock me that it worked. I assumed that it would work because all the signals are still working. It's just my spinal cord that's jacked up. But when I moved it for the first time with my mind without attempting to move at all, I was giddy the entire day. I could not believe what had just happened.
It's a pleasure to meet you, man.
Hey, you too. And you too. Thanks for having me.
I have a feeling if there's a movie that they do in the future of how the world changed in 2024, you're going to be in that movie.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Wonder if they'd get to play me.
Yeah, they probably don't need people by then. They probably just do movies with AI and probably really quickly. You could probably take a really great novel like The Great Gatsby, run it through an AI video creator, and it would just make you the most amazing version of The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But if we're talking about like historical moments in human beings and in technology, the implementation of Neuralink on the first human patient, that's you.
Yeah, I guess so.
But one of the things I wanted to ask you about was like, so there's like the big pharma lobbyists, like there's 1,800 big pharma lobbyists in Washington, D.C.
Right.
There's only 535 total representatives or senators total. So just the fact that there's this whole other almost drug government that's there kind of pushing pushing agendas and influencing things, like how do we stop that, man? It just seems like it's obviously killing people. Like people are dying, It's like, what do we have to do that our own government won't help us?
He decided to make French fries. So he put the pot out. Those pots, you could bring it home with the hot oil and they would boil and you could throw French fries. America went crazy over it. Well, he did heroin and knotted up. The thing went on fire. I wake up to ba-boom and alarms and all some Kurt's waking me up, and we go out of the house and the father's outside and the grandmother and fire trucks are coming from the side laying water and they got the sirens. In the middle of all this, it's 8 in the morning and we all look around and go, oh my God, Emil's still in the house. Bonehead was still in the house on fire. Bro, they turn the fire off, they go in. He's still with his feet up, with his hands crossed.
Just heroin out of his mind.
Watching TV like that.
He slept through the fire?
Oh my God, everything. When they woke him up, he goes, are my fries ready?
Did you want to be a stand-up comic, or did you always think that you wanted to do films?
I think I wanted to get into the movies. I was fucking nuts, cocky as shit in my own weird way. I think a big thing that happened to me was I told my friends in high school I was going to be fucking big. And I didn't.
So you had to?
I had to do it. I told the boys, I was like, I'm going to be fucking great. And then when I would check in with them, I remember being on payphones, calling after even eating it as Catch a Rising Star. I call him, I fucking did good tonight, Bubba. Yeah. I go, yeah. I said, what'd you say? I said, this Joe fucking killed. Meanwhile, I fucking ate it every time.
So you're faking it until you made
it. But I dug a hole for myself. Like, I'm doing great.
Certainly, you guys don't agree on a lot of things, but I think you both acknowledge how horribly rigged the healthcare system is against the American people. Because hospitals and insurance companies get away with hiding their prices from all of us, and literally they can charge whatever they want. It's like you sign up and say, yes, I'll pay. You trust the hospital, but then you get home and the bill it's whatever, which pretty much feels like some form of extortion to me. That's what it seems like to me.
It's a form. Yeah.
But you had an executive order where you created a federal rule forcing hospitals and insurers to publish all their prices.
Yep.
Right? So that people would be able to know, okay, if an MRI costs $600 here and it's $5,000 there, then I can go here and save myself money.
Right.
But that hasn't even been enforced. Like hospitals.
Went to this gas station the other day, and the manager or something comes out, and he's like, hey, man, I'm a fan, and nice guy. And he's like, I just want to let you know we got fresh bread inside, fresh baked pizzas. We bake everything in-house. Right. Okay, so right. That's my first thought. I'd just been inside, okay? There's nothing fresh in this joint, right? Okay? Nothing in there is fresh. Nothing in there ever even knew an animal, right? Or a garden. 0% chance, bro. So now I have to pretend that I'm smelling like pie and shit when I go. So you just get in small town, smaller city stuff like that.
He pulls out Pop-Tarts and pretends he just made them.
Wanted that for sure.
What kind of music did you guys sing?
We did a lot of Aerosmith, a lot of Van Halen, a lot of Sabbath, Zeppelin.
Aerosmith just canceled their tour.
I know.
I guess Steven Tyler, he had that neck injury where he fell and broke one of the bones in his neck.
Yeah.
And apparently he just can't sing.
Open his mouth to sing.
They were planning on doing a thing with the Black Crowes. And,
wow.
Yeah. And they just, for whatever reason, decided to put the tour out and get going. And then he started and he was like, I can't do it anymore. I'm done.
That is painful.
Yeah.
Man, because the guy's whole life was that. And by the way, did you like Aerosmith growing up?
Loved them.
They were the bad boys that every tune was nasty.
That
shit was the nastiest.
So you're a streamer or a gamer? Like, take me through some of it. I know you're a human being.
Yeah. So I started randomly streaming like last year. So I'm like less than a year in.
Okay.
Just was doing it on like.
Okay, and
Just-
what does streaming mean? So because some people won't know.
Oh, so like I play video games mostly, and now I do more stuff. But it started off just like playing Madden and playing football and stuff.
And when you stream, you're playing it in front of your computer, or
Yeah.
you're playing it like how are you setting up the stream? Like
I set it like desktop. It's in my room, and then I have a webcam, and I just turn it on, and then start going. But then people started. I kind of blew up a little bit when I was doing the Madden stuff because I like to do the audibles and stuff.
Yeah. Whenever you started in politics, I'm sure that there was like a real idea of like one person can really affect change, right? Do you think that that's still possible today with like a lot of the lobbies and stuff that they have that goes on?
Well, I think, one of the points that I think everybody knows is you have a government dominated by big money interests, right? That's no great secret. So you have these billionaires now in their super PACs. If you're a billionaire, you can contribute hundreds of millions of dollars to elect people, to feed people. If you're a large corporation or you represent the pharmaceutical industry, do you know how many lobbyists there are in Washington, D.C. representing the big drug companies? Take a wild and crazy guess.
2,000.
You got it. That's a pretty good guess. About 1,800.
Wow. That's the wildest thing to watch is people losing everything,
Yeah, no, they lose everything, and many people. And in those days, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't like don't drink, don't take drugs. I don't think drugs, I don't even know whether they're even a factor. They happened pretty long time ago, but I think in those days, I don't think were drugs a factor. You go back 25 years ago.
Not like it is now.
Well, certainly not like now. And
and that actually takes me into something else I wanted to talk about. Like alcoholism and addiction is something that's really ramped up, even like you're saying, like in the past 20, 30 years in our country, right? And during the opioid epidemic, they estimate that like almost 600,000 people died.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include the broken hearts and the deaths of families and circles of trust, just people that lost a brother. It doesn't even include the actual, the siblings.
Right.
And so the ripple effect of that is huge.
Like there's this dude, William Weatherby. If you can look up the story of William Weatherby, the Creek warrior, Red Eagle, he led this big rebellion of the Creek Indians, and the government hired Andrew Jackson, who was later president, I think, to go fight him. He's this big Civil War general, and these Creeks would build these big fortifications and try to fight off the army, and they blow it apart with cannons and just slaughtered hundreds of Creeks. Fought this big protracted war with them, like in Alabama. And nobody even knows about the fucking Creek War or who William Weatherby is. But when you hear his story, dude, he's like William Wallace of America. You wouldn't believe this motherfucker, okay? His whole village is getting wiped out in there, and he's the leader. And they're like, "Where's William?" I was gonna say Wallace. Where's William Weatherby?
Weatherford?
Is it Weatherford?
Well, I couldn't find a Weatherby, but I got a Weatherford.
I got it wrong.
Cocaine's a tough thing, man.
That's
like jumping ship. That's hardcore.
It was good, man. It was good.
It was okay. I was expecting a different answer.
Nah, it was. God, it was good, man. The tough part was that I couldn't handle the day after, man.
Oh, okay,
that's when it was too much.
Yeah. What is the usual like? Because I see girls at the club. They do it all the time and shit. I don't indulge, but what's the after effects? Like, what does the next day look like after cocaine?
Well, it gets to be like 6 a.m. and you're still doing cocaine, and the next day,
regardless of anything, you're just gonna be up.
Yeah, you're still up, and so the next day is a wrap. Now it's a wrap. So now anything you had for that day,
the plan is done.
Do you think that our election process is still democratic? Do you think it's still?
Yes and no. I mean, you want to run for office. Can you? Yeah, you can. You got a certain number of signatures. But if you're going to win, and I have 10 times more money than you do, I will beat you 95% of the time. Wow. I mean, that's a fact, right?
Right, 100%.
You'll beat me maybe if you're really an exceptional candidate and I'm a real idiot, you will beat me once in a while. But by and large, the money people will win. So if you're asking me, are we a democracy? In one sense, we are. All right, you can run for office. You can raise your issues. On the other hand, in terms of who has the real power, money people do. And I use the term oligarchy. An oligarchy is a society where small numbers of very wealthy people control the economic and political life of the country. I think we are moving rapidly in that direction.
That's like saying, I'm broke. Did you go to work? Did you fucking save your money?
Right. Do you have people in your life that you love? Do you have a thing that you do that you love? If you don't have those things, you're going to have a rough time of it. You know, that's what we're here for. Yeah. We're here for doing things that we love or that are satisfying and being with people that we love. And if you don't have those things, you're in a tough spot. And, you know, the cold hard truth is for a lot of people, you have to be someone worthy of other people's appreciation too. Like, what have you done? Who are you? Mm-hmm. What's your character like? What do you like when you talk to people? Are you nice? Are you fun? Are you good to be around? Do you complain a lot? Mm-hmm. You know, and you want the world to be better, but you complain all the time. You're just a fucking Debbie Downer. Is that what you are? Yeah. Because guess what? Nobody wants to be around you, and you're going to be depressed now. Like you're making people feel like shit. You got to get out of that.
But yeah, I think.
Are you married?
Loitering sounds very British. No, I'm not married. I would like to be, kind of.
I guess you have to loiter more for that to happen. Right?
Yeah, I need a bit more loitering. Yeah. I need to bring the binoculars, you know? Maybe bring a Red Bull. That's the loiterer you got to really be aware of.
The Red Bull loiterer. Yeah. Just standing there with a Red Bull. Small sips. Yeah.
Small sips.
Fucking hell. I haven't had Red Bull in years, man.
Oh, probably good for you.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, there was a time when I was doing like loads and loads of like breakfast TVs and radios and stuff like that. It used to be those massive monster drinks.
When you were touring, like to get your singles out there and stuff like that?
You used to kind of like have to turn up at like 3:30 a.m. to a German weather program to play 30 seconds of your new single. So like those stages, yeah.
Chance of rain, but chance of Ed Sheeran first.